Okay, what we have here is a distributor for our 29 Model A. It was in pretty bad shape. Let me show some of the parts here. So I noticed when the engine was running, the distributor was kind of moving like this, and turns out it had a one-piece distributor shaft in there. Originally, Henry made them this long, so you see the length difference there, and then there was a second shaft. That is to deal with any misalignment between the distributor and the drive that's on the camshaft, right? So essentially it was pushing on and moving this distributor around. So I cinched down the locking screw that holds the distributor in, and that held it in place a little better, but clearly that was just buying time. So consequence of that, the upper shaft is supposed to be just a pinch under 0.5. If it's 0.498, it's no good, which this one's right at 498 at the bearing locations where the bushings are. Yeah, that's 497.5 on the lower there. This is no good, and you don't want a single anyway. For one, it makes it really hard to get the distributor out because this has the original pop-out cable in it, and it threads in here, and you have to pull it up pretty high just to get it so you can unthread it. So done with that shaft. Also, the bushings were pretty worn, and this had been rebuilt before. But the biggest thing is the bottom here was badly worn. So the shaft has a collar on it, right? So when the shaft's in here, and then there's this collar, it was burrowing its way through the bottom of the distributor. So I turned down a portion of the end of the distributor there so that it was flat again, because it had essentially this diameter bored into it, counterbored into it, and then made this brass bushing here. So the brass bushing is about 1 inch in total length, and then the shoulder here is about 1/8 of an inch, and that's to get it back to where once this collar is on here, you have about 3/1000ths of an inch in play. I didn't film any of that. It was a bit of a chore because the piece of brass I started with was pretty large. That's what I had laying around. So pressed in this new bushing, which typically they're these oil preg bushings, and they're actually a little short. The original ones were longer. They were closer to 1 inch. These are more like 3/4, let's see, 6/50 of an inch long, and they're just a pinch over 0.565, so they're about 0.566. The ID of the distributor is about 0.565, so you have about 1/1000th of press between them. The ID is right on 1/2 inch. So this one has been reamed, so you can see I'm right about over 1/2 inch. So to press in the bearings, well, let's talk about pressing them out first. The way I like to do it is just have a piece of brass. You always want to use something that's softer than the thing you want to save. So the bushings are going to get destroyed, but this piece of brass with a sharp corner on the end of it there is just a round piece of stock. You know, the fact that you can put it in there and catch it on the inside of the bushing there, and then just use a dead blow and knock them out. So that's getting them out. Putting them back in, make these little press tools. So you see that fits loose. It's about 0.495, so it's about 5 thou undersized. So you gotta leave a little bit of room, so when this bushing goes in, it's going to squeeze down a little bit. And same deal, just a dead blow hammer will drive that in. So you can see we have a shoulder there. So basically it goes in till it shoulders, that's your stop. So if you have a lathe, it's easy to do. It's the same one I used to drive in the bushing that I made. Once that's done, you need this reamer, and you really need the reamer. They're about 50 bucks, so borrow one if you can. But it's a piloted reamer. It's sold by Schneider's. So this very end here, although it's kind of an optical illusion with the way it's chamfered there, it looks like it's bigger diameter, but it's actually a little bit under, about 492 or so. So that's undersized so that it can get in there, and you can get it to the other bushing and then ream it. So you need to ream both of them together in the assembly pressed in position. If you don't do that, there's a good chance this is going to tighten up on you and going to ruin your day, right? So you want it to turn nice and smooth. So you want 3/1000 of in play here. Ideally you want nothing in the radial direction, right? This is where your cam is going to run that opens and closes your points. So you want that to run as true as possible. This is a rebuild kit from Snyder's. What we have here is the original points. This is the original style. I run the modern stuff because I just like driving the cars and I don't really want to worry about them. And I really like having a good, solid, retarded idle, right? With the lever on the column all the way up and the spark fully retarded. I like that nice pucketa sound, and everything has to be running just right to get that. You can see on these points, I mean, they're a mess. They're not lined up this way. They're a little bit tilted, and it's mostly they're slid down, well, out and down. Cam contact is worn pretty bad. The cam itself was worn pretty badly, but this is the original style. So what are some of the things that go wrong? This wire is the most pivotal thing. Very, very common that it gets pinched when you reinstall it, or you don't get it wound right, or it comes up in contact with the spinning shaft and gets worn through. We'll talk about exactly how this works as we put it together, but that's one of the #1 failure modes, that grounding out. Another one is this body grounding out. So when someone screws in the cable, and if you screw it in too hard, this thing will actually bend and deflect. And you can see this one's bent a bit, and it can actually come in contact with the distributor housing and short out as well. The original style that uses the condenser that goes on the bottom of the distributor, which unfortunately hangs right over the exhaust manifold. The plus is they're really easy to change, so if you get in a tight spot on the road, it's no big deal. But I'd rather just not have the problem at all. So the modern points, this is basically like what we call modern, a 60s or 70s Mustang would have, right? But the condenser is mounted inside, and the points are taken essentially right out of an Autolite type distributor. Won't wear the cam nearly as bad. Okay, so let's start putting some things together. We'll just talk about the pieces as we go. One thing I am adding on this, and it actually had originally, it had this washer here that goes between the shaft and the shoulder of the casting. Not absolutely necessary, but it doesn't seem like a bad idea to me. So I machined this so that it matches, has the right length total with that. It's about a 30 thou thick washer there. There's another washer that was on this distributor when we took it apart, and that was to take up all the slop from the wear that had happened down here. You can see it's actually about as thick as the brass that I replaced it with. I don't know where they scrounged this up or if that was in the kit at the time. These days they sell you in the kit this fiber washer, so that's what's supposed to go here to take up any wear. And it's okay, I guess, but I just did it with a piece of brass. So first thing we do is we put the shaft in, and then we have the collar. The collar has a tapered side. That's to slide down over the other shaft, just to help pile it on. So make sure you put it this way. I guess there wouldn't be any way you'd put it that way, right? The pin's not going to line up. But and then these have to be peened over. Best way I like is 2 hard pieces of steel, and then give it a whack with a hammer. Don't try to swing the hammer and peen it here, right? You need something, use a drift or something, to get it on there first, and then hit that. Otherwise you're going to hit the body and screw everything up. But see how nicely that spins? Really nice. We have the bottom plate. So the bottom plate, since we're running the modern points with the condenser mounted up here, we do not need the condenser in the bottom mounted out here. So we have this fake condenser just to give it the right look and help seal up the hole, but it doesn't have anything in it. But what it is supposed to do is go through here and make contact with this piece here. Since it's not there, and this is one of the primary places where it can short out. See, the reason is the cable from your ignition switch goes through the body and is hopefully insulated all the way through here, comes in here and makes contact with this plate. Now this whole plate isn't energized. There's actually these insulators. See, there's these fiber washers in the rivets that separate this plate from here. So current essentially comes in through here, goes up through this soldered joint and goes through the wire. But this whole piece is actually negative, right? Because Model A is positive ground. So this is the hot, what's called as hot, right? This is the hot. This whole thing is energized. So we don't want it to touch the body. So they recommend that if you're going to run the modern plate and not have the condenser, that you cut this off. So that will reduce the chances of a short. They sell you this sleeve to slide over there, which that's okay, but that's a little chintzy. Rather just not have it. All right, so this guy goes facing down. There's only 2 screw holes and they have to line up. We have these small screws with lock washers to hold the plate. Okay. So the bottom plate is in there. Now the way this goes is the top plate, so the condenser's that way, so this is the exhaust manifold side, this is the passenger side, this is the driver's side. And so the lever peeks out this way. By moving the spark rod on the column, you're rotating this around and changing your spark timing. So the distributor, the rotor is rotating this way, so as this moves this way, that's advanced and this is retarded. Spring that keeps the upper and lower separated. So you need one of these thin little wrenches here. You'll hold one while the other is loosened. So the wire has to wrap around because it's the thing that's going to allow you the rotation, right? So it comes up out of here. You can see the black wire makes a full rev, so it goes counterclockwise when you view it from the top. It makes a full revolution all the way around the spring and shaft, and then comes up through the little hole there, the little notch. So put that guy in. The shaft goes, or the ball end goes somewhere between the cutout thread and the oiling hole. So just check to make sure that while you rotate that black wire is not touching anything. They ship you a little plastic feeler gauge there, stuck in between the points. So you can see how the plate with that spring held up against there tight. Action's nice. So then we have the cam. So this is the newer style cam. It's the B type cam. So the dwell's a little different. You can see it's serrated on the bottom, and that's to keep it locked into place once you screw it down. The other thing, notice is these newer kits, the main problem is that upper bushing wears out, and it's because it doesn't get any oil. So what they've done is they've through drilled the screw that holds the cam down, and they've drilled the shaft as well, and then there's a radial hole in the shaft to get oil out to that bushing. So we have a lock washer and a screw, and we shouldn't tighten this down because we're going to have to set the timing when it's back in the car. You can see with how they have it set that cam just barely, at its max lift point, just barely touches the follower. It's supposed to set the gap for 20 thou plus or minus 2. So you do that by loosening this screw, the one closest to the points. Put the cam at its high lift point, and then push her in until the points start to open up. When you say 20 plus or minus 2, that means a 22 should go, or should not go, and an 18 should, and then you know you're in the house, right? So there's your go, no go. There's really no other way to do it. You can't slide a 20 in there and say, that feels good. 18 goes. 22 does not. We're all set. Just double check it. Make sure you're up on the cam. 22 doesn't go. 18 goes. Now the other thing we can do is we can check for shorts. So we have a little voltmeter here. You get a beep when it shorts out. I put the points open. We check. Nothing. Points close. That completes the circuit. Points closed. Points open. Change the spark timing. Make sure the wire's not touching anything in there. Points closed. Points open. All good. It at least hasn't shorted out yet. What else do we have? We have our dummy condenser to put in. It's just held in with a screw and a lock washer. Dummy condenser, nobody will be the wiser. And then we have the little rubber plug that is always missing on the far side here where the cable, so the cable goes in there, and then this is where you have screw access for the end of the condenser for that little plate that we cut off earlier. The oiler. So the oiler presses in, so when you take it out, the best thing to do, if you have one to take out, a lot of times they're missing, and it's an oiler, not a grease zerk. Oil should go in here. So this one was caked up. You never know if anybody tried to put grease in there or not, but you should put oil. Make sure you clean out this hole. The hole goes straight through, and it's this oiler that oils the lower bushing. The way to get them out is to take something like a drift, open it up, and then stick the drift in the hole, and then you can pry it out. It's just pressed in, it's not threaded. Don't try to grab it with pliers because you'll just tear it up. But the oil hole, once you pull that back, the oil hole should face straight up, right? So you can get your oil in. She's held in there, not by much, but she's in there. We have the clips here, the bails that hold it on. So we just slide those babies through with these, slide these brass pins through that come in the kit. And then when the pin's through the other side, you just need to spread out the tangs here. And that's it. The distributor is rebuilt. So we got a nice satisfying thunk 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 as it goes around. So the only thing that's left to do here, at least on this one that I did, is I gotta peen this pin and tighten this down once it's in the car. See you around.